And we're live. Go ahead, Alicia.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to your favorite place on the internet, or perhaps not, but it will become your favorite place in the internet. Because this is our safe place. And this is Heal the Deal live stream number 8 already. And we have, of course, new amazing guests as per usual. We have Nicole here in the place. Hi, Nicole. And we have Shaka Blood, of course, an amazing artist. Nicole, an amazing artist. And then we have my co host, my dear co host, Fesk, right here, and myself. Um, it's a pleasure to just see everyone again, be back on the stage, I guess if we can call that a stage. But it's been a hot minute. I feel like we do these talks bi-weekly, and it's really everything happens so fast in the space of like 2 weeks that there's always so many things to say. So without further ado, I will just recap everything. But if you're not familiar with what we do here, um, this is a space where we discuss everything basically from mental health to daily struggles and how it affects us in the NFT space and vice versa. So we usually start by asking our guests how they felt for the past few weeks, months, what they've been dealing with, and if they have anything to share. So without further ado, Nicole, I want to start with you because it's so nice to see you. I know we didn't have much time to connect within the past few months, except for on Clubhouse and all of that. So I just want to know, like, how have you been? What's going on and what's happening in your mind and in your life?
Yeah, a lot. Uh, I feel like that's such a large question.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like primarily, obviously, like working on art as like everyone is, and I think just trying to navigate the space. And I think for me, I don't know like what everyone else's experiences have been, but I've been to a lot of like in-person events, which is like particularly interesting.
Mm,
So that's like a whole nother like thing to navigate, I think. And it like I would say like things feel like a lot different now because there's like so much money involved, whereas like I'm in New York City, by the way, for everyone who doesn't know
yeah.
that. Um and yeah, so there's like, art events before it was more of just like about art and you would just like go to like an opening and like, someone was probably trying to sell their work or whatever, but it felt less of like this competitive atmosphere. And now it's I'd say that like you kind of see people, I don't want to say like teaming up, but like kind of teaming up or like forming groups, which is really interesting. And not to say that they're only sticking with certain groups, like people are kind of like trying to work with each other and figure out how to like navigate this space. And I think you have uh like us being to sell our digital art now, but you also have like the chaos of like cryptocurrency thrown into this mix. So I think that more than anything is what is like causing a lot of artists who weren't used to being involved in um speculative finance, to have a very like interesting time adjusting,
Mm.
So I feel like, you're dealing with a lot of different moods at once, especially in person now. And you're like artists are already quite usually interesting characters to begin with. So um you totally have to just deal with like all of these like different personalities, and then this like up and down energy of like having like a great drop or like not a great drop, and then people are comparing themselves to other people, and then people are getting hacked. Like I got hacked at one point. It's like this crazy world that we're in now, right? So I feel like, as time goes on, we're trying to adjust like little by little, and I think almost like take time for ourselves too, more than anything. Take time with like our loved ones and be like, all right, I need to step back out of this for a little bit and kind of like recoup and like recenter and refocus on my art. and then get back into the mix again. But I think a lot of us are trying to except for the people who are really into cryptocurrency, a lot of us are trying to kind of like reattain that balance and not pay too much attention to the speculative aspect of this. So yeah.
That's a pretty good summary of everything. I really appreciate everything you mentioned, and I feel like there's so much to talk about in details about what you just mentioned. You started by talking about in-person events, which is, I think, like something for many of us that we didn't experience yet. And there's a whole new world and aspect of that really can brings a lot of struggles, because IRL life is really different from online life and how we behave online and versus IRL. So I think there's a lot to discuss about that. But I'm happy to hear about you, and I'm happy to see you being happy, being supported and loved, and well surrounded as well. I feel like this has been my most amazing thing I think about when I think about you is how loved and supported you are and surrounded as well. And it just soothes my heart to know that, because I don't want any people to feel alone in this community. Yeah. So there's that. But thank you. We'll go back to that just in a few minutes, because I want to ask Shaka, my dear Shaka, what's up? It's so nice to connect with
YouTube? You. I want to thank my sponsors really quick.
Okay, it's NordVPN.
Before we get into this, you brought up like the IRL URL thing. You know how hard it is explaining to someone what you do? I literally just stutter the sentence and barely finish the definition. People have to like define it for me around me.
Yeah.
But yeah, you know what's funny? Like, I don't even know if I'm answering questions right now, but I didn't heal the deal like maybe 4 or 5 months ago. It was with Ness and you and obviously Fescue there, I think. And I remember I was at the lowest of the lowest in NFT, and I remember I like joined and I was talking about how hard it is like finding a friend community, like how hard it is to make sales, and it's like hilarious how I'm back on this show and things have honestly been like amazing lately, and like Hopper stuff has been great. It's crazy how if you get like the right mindset with the right people, you like don't feel so down all the time. But yeah, I don't know what else.
No, it's good. It's pretty good. I was just checking on you to see how you're doing, but you actually answered that question, because you said it yourself. You're the fact of being well surrounded and just being in the right mindset, and projecting positivity and attracting positivity goes together. So I'm really happy to hear that from you. And it's also nice to hear about positive insight. Fez, go ahead. I want to hear about you.
Yeah, a quick note about what Shaka said. I think that maybe the strongest side of like the community is to lift you up when you're down, and like know that like Heal the Deal helped Shaka back in the day when you were feeling down. Like it's pretty damn rewarding for us that has been like doing this since January, and how like we helped maybe even a little bit to keep you up during that time, enough for you to get back on your feet and like crush it with the hoppers,
Yeah, like even like I truly feel like no one can really talk about the serious stuff on Twitter, because unless you're DMing someone, but if you don't really have friends or people in the space to talk to, you're kind of just like wallowing in your negativity. But I just remember that day I came on and like said things that probably needed to be said, but you can't really tweet about, and it's nice to do that. Even if you don't get out of that negative space, as long as you talk about it. And this space moves so quick that like 1 week feels like 4 months, and it goes by so fast, or the opposite. So yeah, it's really easy, even if you're successful, to like, you do a big drop, then 2 days later you realize you have to stay relevant and make some more content. You know what I mean? So
yeah, absolutely.
It's crazy.
It's really tough on your self-confidence, self-esteem, and everything that you see as yourself and your own image you project to the world. So I relate to that. Fesk,
Oh yeah, right. Sorry.
I have yet to hear from you, my dear.
Yeah.
I want to know.
Okay, so like since the past session that we had, like things more or less are kind of the same. I have a bunch of stuff going on, but like little to small projects, has been like a real big challenge when it comes to management, and it's driving me fucking crazy. Because when you have a single project or maybe one or two projects that are kind of big, it's easier for me to manage everything, right? Because you kind of focus on those two. But when you have like 6 or 7 small ones, it's pure madness. So it's been quite hard to manage it all. But I've been doing fine. Like the fact that I'm doing smaller projects, I think there's not a huge pressure on them, right? As opposed to doing like 1 or 2 huge or big ones. So it's more a anxiety / pressure on the management side, but it's super chill when it comes to like the pressure of executing. So I'm fine. And actually, I've been playing Battlefield the whole fucking day because of the beta. So I actually...
Good on you.
I crunched...
The new Battlefield?
Yeah.
What is it, 2042 or something?
Yeah, exactly. I crunched Monday and Tuesday just so I could play on Wednesday.
Dude, I used to love I used to love the one that came before Battlefield 1. Was it Battlefield 4?
Yeah, I think it's
I
Battlefield
used
4.
to play that for like years.
Dude, you should download this new one because it's really similar to Battlefield 4.
I shouldn't be looking this up right now, but
do you do you, because actually games are that's that's the good thing for your mental health, right? Playing games, doing the things you love, because there are so many things you love in life and you just tend to forget about them because you dismiss them for what your other passion, which is basically art and your job, right? And you have to kind of balance things out, and you have to let those other passions. Ooh, she's learning pronunciation. Those other passions just take more space into your life, and it's really difficult, to do so, because that means you have to manage your time. And hence I'm bumping back onto what Fesk was saying, because I feel like personally, I feel like you are really good at managing everything, and I feel like everyone in this room is really good at managing because we're working, by ourselves, for ourselves. So obviously we're good at managing things. But my question is, like, what makes us think that we're bad at managing things, or that things slips from us? Like, what does make us feel that? Is it something external, maybe? Like,
I feel like it's a hard question to answer. Actually,
it is, but it's not a question to answer now. It's just a question to just think about when you feel like you are under pressure and you feel like you're not doing enough, etc. What rules that? Like, what feeling rules that? Because that's not you, because you're doing so much already. So I just think that it's a good question to have.
I feel like I don't know if this is gonna answer, but I'm not saying what I do is correct, because it's definitely not the healthy thing to do. And also, if you don't put enough content out, not saying content for other people, but like put enough art out for yourself, then you're also not satisfied. Obviously, I see artists out there that put something out once a month and they're completely fine and their fan base is still there and no one forgot about them. But I have that problem where I think if I don't do something every week, then people are going to forget about me. It's like that weird, so unhealthy, but makes me miss like just the Instagram days where you can just post something and like leave and then, but
yeah,
I don't know if I answered that.
Don't you think that even in the Instagram days, you had that sort of pressure to feel like you had to post things to stay relevant?
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
I feel like it was almost
you
worse.
Post something
honestly.
from 2017 and you go, oh, just made this. I don't know.
Yeah, as Nicole says, it was work, and it's still work. I guess.
Yeah, I think it's. I feel less pressure to put out like so much because like of the whole scarcity thing. Like I feel like people are getting it now, and they're like, no, don't put out a bunch of stuff, and I'm like, thank you, like thank you, like it got to the point with Instagram where like I definitely was not doing well with the algorithm, and I was like just putting out garbage because I like was just trying to keep up, you know. And it got to the point where I just completely was like, you know what, like screw this, because I don't make work like this, you know. I make bigger projects, I do VR stuff. Like I'm not going to be putting out like a still every 2 days. It's just not going to happen. So yeah, I think now I feel a little less pressure, and I can just tweet on Twitter and like just be a part of the community and like talk about what I'm thinking about, and that's great, you know. And then people will interact with me, and I don't have to put out art every 2 days anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that, because during the Instagram days, I use it to do every days, you know. So the every days were amazing, partially because of like the reward of doing every day, you know, like pretty much becoming better and better on your craft, because it definitely damn helps. But the other side of it was like keeping up with the algorithm, you know. So
Right.
once I started migrating more towards NFTs and crypto art and the whole scarcity thing and stuff like that, and I took away the keeping up with the algorithm, it was easier for me to maybe pace the everydays and not do every day, you know, maybe like 3 times a week, 4 times a week, because I like it, and not exactly every day, you know. So yeah, I definitely think that the NFT space kind of helped with that. But in another like aspect of it, I feel that the Twitter, if you don't tweet much, not necessarily put out art, but tweet and interact, I think that counts as well. So I'm kind of reflecting in the way that, okay, we are not pressured to put out art every single day, but we are maybe pressured to interact every single day. Does it make any sense?
Yeah, of course, because at the end of the day, we're just fulfilling an algorithm, right? We're playing by the rules of other platforms, so we have to act on this and be active, etc. But it feels less pressuring. I feel like in a way, it helped me to find more value in myself as an individual, rather than find value about myself into my work, because that's how I felt during the Instagram days, right? When I felt like my worth was so related to my work that I didn't worth anything if you detach the work from the artist. And now I feel like, I feel more confident, because I know that my message goes through, and that people resonate with that, and they receive it, and they see it, and they get to know the person behind that. And I feel much more enlightened in general. So yeah, I don't know.
That's a really good point. I think that the NFT space values like the artist way more the Instagram. You know, it feels that Instagram was way more about the art. I mean, it is about the art, but like the artist really counts. And maybe that's because of the way that we interact on Twitter, and maybe like on chats like this one, or Twitter spaces, like the person behind the art. I think that's more important than ever. Does it make any sense? I don't know.
Yeah. Also, like, I don't know who said this, but like Instagram, you're just like reading the person's bio, and then commenting isn't really important, right? On Instagram, it's like you just go like sick photo. Like Twitter, you get more of a personality. Like you get all these replies of people. You know, like it's more of a conversational thing. So that's why Twitter really stepped up. And Instagram just stinks. I mean, for me, I just kind of post there just to post. You know, have a portfolio, but really like the conversations and the people you meet is just kind of Twitter. So, but
That's so true. That's like your own little diary, I guess. Your public diary. You still filter things you say about yourself, about what you do, etc. You filter those things because that's what social medias are for. We're not sharing everything and anything. But I feel like Twitter has had this effect on the community where people feel, a bit more vulnerable, and just more inclined to share about those things that are a bit more difficult to talk about. Also sharing your opinions, that's something really tricky for a lot of people. including myself. I really hate sharing my opinions on things, etc., because I always think that I'm gonna be judged, and I don't want to upset people, and like, who am I to say something to other people, etc. But I feel like the people we know in this community and all of us are, as a group, are inclined to hear about those things without judging, or if we do judge or disagree, we try to make it in a constructive way, I guess. So, or at least for the people I know. I know it's not the case for everyone, of course. There's trolls everywhere, but we're trying to uplift people with that. Okay, and just if anyone has wants to add something on that, just do it. But I wanted to jump back on the beginning of our conversation with what Nicole was saying, with IRL events, groups of people, community behaviors, and all of that. Because I wanted to ask Nicole, like, how do you feel when you are, confronted to that? Do you feel comfortable? Do you feel included, or do you feel like it's difficult? Of course, as someone who identifies perhaps as a woman, etc. Also, that's also another struggle. So I just wanted to hear about your perspective on that.
Yeah, I mean, like, you're gonna get that in social groups, like, regardless. I think that the weird thing about this is it's kind of like just like smushing like all of these artists together now, like, whereas before it was kind of like, some people would go to this person's gallery opening and that was it. Now we have like NFT art events, like NFT NYC is gonna be a huge one. And I think, like, more often than not, it's a positive experience. But I think that it's difficult to navigate because we do see people kind of like, it's like something like stirred the pot, you know what I'm saying? And now like everyone's like, oh my god, wait, like you're doing this and you're doing this, and like everyone's trying to like kind of like form new connections or reform old connections. And I would say that that's kind of stressful because it's like you're trying to navigate like who's doing what with who, and like, I'm sure like all of us have like some jealousy here and there because they're like, oh, you're doing this and like I'm not, and then you feel like you have the self-esteem issue because you're like, oh, I'm not doing enough. And I think we go, we cycle through a lot of that in our heads, and then we kind of just have to like take a step back and say like, you know what, I'm doing what's important to me, and just feel grounded from that and go into these events like knowing that, so yeah, and it's interesting because we have a lot of newcomers as well, right? A lot of younger people too, so and that's really cool also. So it's really, yeah, like I said, it's like someone stirred the pot, and you got a lot of new connections happening and a lot of new people coming in, and yeah, I think more so it's like a trial of navigation than anything else, really. Like, who do you trust also? Because I want to ask you guys, like, how do you feel about like the whole anonymous aspect of this? When we as artists, when I first decided to use my name as my brand, like I didn't expect to be interacting in an anonymous space. And I have to admit that it makes me feel uncomfortable, especially as a woman. And I have had stalkers before, like, who have been like quite scary, like before the NFT stuff. So it's like now we're dealing with anonymous people as well, and then you have all the scams and all of this type of stuff. So it's like, how do you know you can trust someone whose face you cannot see, So I'm curious, like, to hear how you guys feel about that too.
Go ahead.
No, I don't have much to say about it. I think that it's really damn different. I cannot say much about in real life events because like COVID down here in Brazil, it's still fucking bad, right? Yeah. I'm still to get my second shot probably next month, so I'm still not going out more than a year.
Vaccine. We have to
more productive.
Yeah.
We have to make a precision. He's talking about shots of vaccine, not like getting shot, right?
Yo,
Please
right. Yeah.
don't be concerned about Fesk. He's doing great. I can assure you.
Yeah, but like
yeah.
because of that, I didn't have that issue in real life. But I think that when it comes to the Twitter interactions and stuff like that, the trust is something that you kind of build over like some days, weeks, and months. So it's really extremely hard to trust like CryptoPunk, a Bored Ape that slides into your DMs and stuff like that, you know. But yeah, a lot of them are legit people, you know. Some Bored Apes slide into my DMs asking about a project. I request a video call and it's fine. Like the dude on the other side is like super fine, right? But I get what you mean, and that's probably maybe even a little bit unsettling in real life, right?
Yeah, like someone can see you and you can't see them, and we're expected to be these like public personalities basically. Like that's what we're doing on Twitter. We're no longer just posting our art, like, you know, which is great in a way, but then it's also that like, yeah, it's kind of unsettling.
It's
kind of ironic that like the artist trope is like you're like introverted, you don't really talk to people. And then all of a sudden you're given like the torch to like network your ass off and meet like so many people. So that's like, that was a hard thing for me. I think I talked about this on the first Heal the Deal that I was on. I was like, yo, how do you guys meet real people that like, I don't know, don't want to scam you? Talking about the trusting people, like it's funny, like I trust people way too much in this scene to the point that one day I'm going to learn the hard way, but like, I'm like way too open with people that slide into my DMs and stuff, so hopefully I pulled back a little bit more, but yeah.
Yeah, I understand. Also, I think that talking about trust in general, we have to also address the fact that trust is something difficult because it's also really tied to trust issues we have regarding our personal lives as well, you know. I'm pretty sure a lot of us having, you know, I've seen our trust shattered by some people in real life, you know, family, relatives, friends, lovers, etc. So coming from that, it's already difficult to trust people. And I think it's something not to dismiss when trying to connect with others, because if you don't feel, you know, if you don't feel like trusting someone right away, you have your reasons. And that other person should understand that, because I'm pretty sure they also went through similar things as well. But I don't know. It's also comes to, you know, trusting your gut sometimes. There's a bit of that. For example, there's no like right reasons for me to have trusted Fesk at first, you know, but I did. Because I think that having those interactions also help you to just really see the person shines through, and actually talking and speaking out loud, you know, like having calls, video calls, as Fesk was saying, and even just meeting IRL if that's possible, can, you know, that can really help, because there's things that are conveyed within a person that are only told because of like their intonation, the way they speak, how they present, etc. And that's something we are sometimes missing, of course, in the metaverse and all of that.
I just wanted to add real quick, because I had interactions with people that with video and audio it was great, but when it comes to DMs and emails, all the wrong signals, you know. I was like, Jesus fucking Christ, I'm gonna be scammed for sure, you know. So I just wanted to leave this out there, because people can fake like visually and audio. I don't know if I'm expressing myself correctly, sorry for my English, but you need to be careful on all those fronts. Text, because sometimes people make you agree with something and like the text has double sense, I don't know, double meaning, you know. So yeah, that's pretty damn fucking scary. So
wait, were you're saying you video called with people and it was fake?
No, sorry. I video call with people.
Oh,
It's
gotcha,
like
gotcha.
it's a
Like
it's a
deep fake, like
person.
it's a Tom
No,
Cruise
no,
talking
no,
to you?
it's not. I didn't meet Elon Musk deepfake, you know. But like
Yeah.
the person on the other side was like super fine, super like easygoing, you know. When it comes to DMs and like, nah, I my gut was telling something was wrong
Yeah.
in there, you know.
So you decided
Yeah.
not to pursue it. Like,
Yeah.
you didn't go with
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. You definitely need, I think in all of this, you really do need to go with your gut, and also like don't like rush stuff, you know? Like like stuff can be so stressful with like drops and everything, but it's like if you're not sure, like 100% sure what's going on, then like you shouldn't be doing it, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I think what am I saying? I don't remember. Fuck. Hey. Great. But I think that it is a bit scary, and as Nicole was saying, you have to take some time to do those things and interact with people. But by time, I mean like actually taking more than, a minute, an hour, or a day. Those things build for a certain amount of time. And it's the same for projects as well. I think that one thing that we all should remember is to slow down when it comes to everything we choose to do, or all of the things we want to click on, or all of the people we are answering to, etc. I feel that that's kind of where my mind is at right now, is to really try to take deep breaths. Deep.
You're doing great. You're doing
Yeah.
great. You're doing great.
I am so tired. I must admit that I am so tired. I cannot do this anymore. This has been really such a tough week for me, and just a tough month. So bear with me. But yeah, just take a breath before you just do something. But an actual breath, like doing a few breathing exercises before you do something can really helps to settle down your mind to a place where you feel more safe, I guess. Because we were talking about safety and security on the last stream, right? And it's crazy because I was thinking about that. We were talking with Jason about, hackers and scammers and all of that. And the fact that this can have like such a PTSD effect on people, that people can really just feel super depressed about those things happening. And it's crazy because like the morning after our dear friend Blake got, hacked, and she got all of her assets gone from her wallet. And it was like heartbreaking. And of course she was heartbroken, etc. And it's so painful to see that.
Yeah, on that note, real quick, sorry to cut you off, Alicia.
Oh no, it's fine.
Just
it's fine.
before, because I will probably forget it. On the note of taking a breath before doing stuff, all
Yes,
it
please.
takes is a wrong transaction to wipe out all your assets, even though if you have a ledger and stuff like that. It can happen, So taking a breath before doing anything, it's really damn important. Really damn important.
Yeah, and reading as well, because the problem is that we don't read as much as we should. And I know that because I do that, you do that, everyone does that.
I did that just now. Fucking Metaverse. I was like, get my ledger, and then I need to make this stuff, and like was so fucking stressful. And then like
Exactly.
it was almost the time of the stream. I was like, fucking hell, my room is a pure mess. I need to do everything at the same time. So while I was transferring it from one wallet to another, I was like cleaning my room and stuff. So that's really, really fucking bad, And like we all should take it more slow. But I feel that at this point, this became a fucking meme in the community. I think it shouldn't be, but it became. I don't know if you guys saw the FOMOverse, the drop from Pac like the other day, that he dropped for free a bunch of like NFTs for free, and like the whole like concept of it was like the FOMO and the fact that you were probably going to miss it, and I miss it,
Yeah, same. I don't even know what that is.
Yeah. So
I have no idea.
Just to reiterate that we should take it slow. I know it's damn hard, probably we're at this right now. We're probably losing a bunch of opportunities in the NFT space, like right now. But we gotta make peace with ourselves that other opportunities will come and show themselves at the right time.
Yeah. Gotta
Have you guys-
accept
have you guys-
the missing. Oops, sorry. Go ahead.
Have you guys sent? Yeah. Have you guys sent money to a wallet and then typed it in wrong or sent it to the wrong? Like I've done that. The first time I ever sent like ETH, I sent it to the wrong address, and it was
Wow.
like the worst feeling ever. So ever since then,
really?
I double copy my addresses, like double check every time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
of
that was a
course.
rough one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Didn't happen to me, but it could easily happen to me because I am such a mess. I hate myself for not double checking everything. And I saw that just, this past few weeks, I've just did like a whole new security checkup and setup for all of my accounts and all of that. And it was like absolutely incredible to see that I wasn't secured at all. And I was so exposed. And oh, there's a bit of an echo somewhere. Sorry.
Yeah, Shaka, I think that too.
Sorry, guys. I'll turn it off.
It's fine. But yeah, it's crazy, and all it takes is actually to talk with people to know about that. Talk to people about what you have, what you don't have, what you should do, etc. Because that's something I guess we usually hope that we're going to stumble across the information on Twitter or something. But there's not all info on Twitter. I don't know.
Yeah, 100%.
So there's that. Security, trust, all of that is really, really stressful. We all agreed on that. And I want to reiterate on the fact that if you ever have a doubt on something, you can always, DM me or reach out in the Heal the Deal Discord if there's anything, in the NFT support channel and all of that. We're always super happy to just, check onto something you may have received or not, help with a question. And it's really, really important to do so because you can actually save yourself some tears,
I would love to interrupt you real quick. And since we have Shaka here, I would love to ask Shaka, what it's like to do a quote-unquote collectible drop like hoppers, because you drop like 50 at a time, and fucking Rarible goes nuts, and you have like a bunch of different bids on a bunch of different hoppers. How do you handle that? Because I would probably like have brain damage and pass out,
So like the first drop I did, I didn't even know Rarible at all. I don't know if you guys ever dropped like that many pieces like that, but like you're dropping like 50 one-of-ones. So it's like everything has its own address. Everything has like, and then you got to make sure, that the homepage and Rarible's doing okay. But the thing about Rarible is like you'll get bids and people will just throw bids in and then they'll just leave. And then if they end up buying something else during the auctions going on and they don't have enough funds, it kicks their bid out. And like, let's say I sold something for 1 ETH. If none of the guys have money to pay 1 ETH, it'll go back down to like 0.3 ETH. I don't know. It's crazy. They have a lot of platform issues. And then, accepting bids on time before people back out. It's like it's a crazy thing that not a lot of people know about. You just got to plan everything, make sure everything's set before you drop. It's stressful. It's very stressful.
But also, my question about that regarding that. Oh, sorry, I think there's an echo again. Sorry, I don't want to stress anyone. But yeah, my question about that is, we were talking with Fesk privately about the fact that artists sometimes can get a lot of pressure from, collectors who have expectations from artists, right? Where they come from a place of you have to deliver now that I have invested in you, etc. So of course everyone has their motivations when it comes to NFTs and all of that. I think that's fair, but I think that a lot of people are receiving those messages and pressure from collectors and people, and I feel like this is really difficult to handle. whether you do like one-on-ones or if you do actually PFP project. And I feel like for now it's really highlighted in the PFP community, right? Because people are so, they're focusing on the fast-paced environment, and they have a lot of expectations. And I don't know, I just want to ask that question to you, Shaka, as a PFP founder, but also for you guys, Nicole and Fesk, like, how does it feel like? Did you ever come across that kind of behavior, and what are your thoughts on this?
Like,
So
just getting, like,
I'll just jump in
pressured,
super quick because I literally just got like 4 of those messages before the stream.
Oh.
But like,
No.
but I don't know. Like, you guys know D-Face Studio, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know him. He like said no roadmap, no utility, just art. Like, that is what you want to hear as an artist. But like, I mean, I've fallen into this, and it's a sad thing. But people buy your art, and then they're like, "When am I getting this? When's the utility?" Like, just now I got asked, "Are you doing anything for these holders?" I'm like, man, I'm trying to do this drop, and then I gotta dish out. Like, there's a lot of things you have to do. You don't have to do it, but I definitely get like a lot of messages of people like, your art is not enough. We've moved away from the art. Now it's becoming a investment / what can I get from you? And then if they don't like what you're saying, then they sell your art. I get it, but yeah, I'm falling into that category. But yeah, I'll let you guys talk. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. Go
That's
ahead.
what happens with profile photos.
I recently like got a few messages like that about like some platforms I'm on and stuff like that, and just like collectors not being very happy about them, and it's like getting asked to like basically like try new platforms, especially with like people that I've worked with in the past, like through art and stuff like that, and it's like having to kind of manage expectations when you're not even in the front line of things, like controlling like what the platforms are doing and everything like that. Like that's it's difficult, but like what you can empathize with them, and I do, and I don't know, like at the end of the day for me it's like, if someone, I haven't had anyone message me like, hey, we need this from you, you need to do this because like I invested in your art. Like if someone said that to me, I'd be like screw you, dude. Like like I'm in this for the art, and I think it's meaningful, and like I need you to respect me as an artist and not expect me, like, yes, like investing in my art is like, there's definitely value in that, and I absolutely know that. But if you're gonna tell me I need to do like A, B, and C for your investment, for your wallet, like at that point you lose me,
100%. I feel that there are a lot of collectors from like February or March era, that bought one-on-one pieces expecting some return, but they were not expecting the profile picture type of madness, So in my eyes, there are some collectors that bought one-on-one pieces, and like 2 months later, they saw that they could have taken those 2 ETHs, 3 ETHs that they bought your art with, and applied on like 5 different profile picture avatar projects and quadruple that, way them faster than investing in your art. So I feel that some collectors kind of regret buying one-on-ones back on February, and I 100% sympathize with those people. But right now, after so many madness with profile picture avatars and a lot of collectors pressuring artists to deliver something like airdrops and stuff like that, I love to see artists like D-Face and Bileles just posted about this like 2 days ago, like, my life is my roadmap, there's no fucking roadmap, trust the fucking artist, So I really love artists pushing back this business madness of profile picture avatars, and I totally get those profile pictures. Of course, it's more of a business and culture, and I think that like Shaka kind of sits in between like the 10,000 fucking stuff and the handcrafted one-on-ones, somewhere in between right there. So you probably don't suffer as much as someone that dropped 10,000 profile pictures. But yeah, that's my 2 cents, you know.
I mean, I think I think what the smart thing to do as a collector is to like do the profile picture thing, you know, flip them quickly, make the money you're gonna make, because like, you know, more often than not, like that's not the stuff that's gonna hold value for years and years and years. It's our artwork that is, you know. So flip your stuff and then buy our one of ones, because that's what's gonna hold the value.
Fantastic advice. I feel like that's Echo.
Poor Shaka.
Sorry.
I'm sorry. I feel like I'm bossing you around. I'm so sorry. So yeah, I feel like that's a fantastic advice from Nicole. No, don't hurt yourself. Don't hurt yourself. But the fact is that it's fine. You know, PFPs are super amazing. I love that. I have so many of them. But I just personally invest on PFP projects that, you know, from artists that I love or that I really vibe with, because that's what I do. That's my spirit, and that's how I invest my money, and I love that. Some people will love to just invest on everything and see what comes and goes and what rises or not. But the advice of, you know, reinvesting those profits into more, you know, statement pieces, pieces that are kind of a track in history, you know, because we're making history right now. And it's like owning a piece of history, because the person you support is part of that history, and you are part of that history when you collect their work, and you are creating a bond that wouldn't exist perhaps without that. And you're opening so many possibilities for this person, for yourself as well. So I really want to try and, you know, one of my goal is like, of course, to help people in this community to feel better and more comfortable. But I also kind of want to see how we can educate collectors and, you know, newcomers on how to be more empathic, and just also take a deep breath before doing something or before rejecting something as well. Rejecting the idea of one-on-ones as something not like beneficial for them or something, because it's the situation we are in right now is as is, and it's profitable for PFP projects, for example, but that doesn't mean that it's going to be the case for, you know, a year, a decade, or whatever. So you kind of want to put your eggs in, you know, different baskets. I feel like if you really want to be part of that community, you I feel like you want to explore with all those possibilities, and by doing so, you will be supporting people, no matter what you do or choose as well. So yeah, be kind. If you're a collector, be kind, because when you say something to an artist like that, and you may think you are the only one saying it, but sometimes that artist has had, for example, as Shaka said, 4 messages before you, and you're hurting people. You don't want to hurt people. I don't believe people want to hurt people for the sake of hurting them. But the very fact is that it affects people. It affects their mental health and their self-confidence, and then they become doubtful, and doubt can become anxiety, and anxiety can become depression. And it's really crazy to think about the impact we have on other people's life. So be kind, please.
It's funny, like, I love one-of-ones, like traditional one-of-one pieces. I love doing that. And before I even did the Hopper thing, like that was what I solely did. I couldn't get sales and stuff, so obviously I started going on to Hen, and then Hen is like multiple editions. I couldn't really sell one-of-ones there because nobody wants to spend, you know, 500 TES on something. So I started doing editions, and then I think once I did editions, now that I have more of a following, I can drop one-of-ones, but then there's the issue of platform. What platform you're going to drop on? The one-of-ones on Maker's Place is not great. One-of-ones on some other places are not great unless you have a big following. So, yeah, I like where I am now because I have my collectibles, but I also have all my spin-off traditional pieces and all that stuff on the thing I did for Orphan, the Orphan auction. I love doing that stuff. If I just did collectibles, I'd be so depressed because it's just like you're banging out items and items and items, and you can't really express yourself with a avatar. So,
And I
so if you
kind
do collectibles, I think you should try other things that aren't just those collectibles.
And I gotta say that the market and the collector base is maturing a little bit. I don't know if you guys saw a graph from a collector called Batsopium. I don't know his name exactly, or their name exactly. They made a graph of a pyramid, like upside down, and like the collectibles, the generative art, and the one-on-ones. And like I had the experience of a collector like a month ago buying 3 of my pieces all of once. And he was doing that with the profits from flipping art blocks, and he said, dude, I'm just flipping art blocks for the profits and depositing profits on one-on-one artists for the long run. And like by talking with him about that, it made me feel so much safer. Oh my god, this guy is buying for the long run. Fucking hell. Amen, so I can kind of like navigate on a more long run mindset instead of like worrying about this guy possibly trying to flip my pieces in 2 months, which probably, I don't know if I will explode or something like that. We never know. This space is so damn unpredictable, but chances are that it's a steady growth like in the long run. So I just wanted to throw these 2 cents that I feel that the collector base is actually maturing in a good way.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like collectors are educating each other, artists are educating collectors, and vice versa. So I think we're on the right track right now. I feel that yes, there will be beef and all of that, but I feel like the majority of the community is here to pick back up and pick people up when they feel down and all of that. I feel like we are getting somewhere. In comparing to a few months ago, you can see the changes, and I think it's important to have that little throwback with yourself and as a community to see where we come from. February is far behind us right now. It has been a minute, right? I think I can see that from a lot of people around me that are being more comfortable being in this space, being also proud of being in this space, because for a moment it was difficult to be proud of being in the community. You wanted to, but there were a lot of criticism. There always are, but now we stand as a group, as a unity, and you feel more safe like that, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. I would love to touch that. It's been almost an hour. It's like we have 5 minutes and stuff like that. I told you guys it's pretty chill. It goes fast. I don't know, Alicia, if anyone has any questions on the chat.
Usually. The chat was really lovely tonight. We have so many amazing insight. I wanted to thank everyone in the chat: Twitch Spain, Mac, My Blood, Andy, Vad, of course. Then we have Nico, Ninad, and everyone in the chat. Thank you for all of your insight. I feel like everyone agrees on the fact that this is a really tough journey to navigate. But yeah, if anyone in the chat has questions, please, or something they want to add to the conversation, please do so now. We're slowly, I guess, going to close this conversation. Sorry.
Shaka, I don't want to. Nicole, do you guys have any closing thoughts?
Yeah.
I guess all I want to say to everyone who's here for mental health reasons is also make sure you do take that step back. Make sure you don't spend all day every day making art or checking like the drop that you missed or whatever. Like, there will be more. Don't worry about it. Like, just take your time, make sure you're eating well, make sure you're exercising, make sure you have your own downtime to like play your video game or whatever you want to do. Enjoy yourself, because that's what's going to keep you inspired. And like, don't worry about missing out on some opportunity. Worry that you have what you need at that moment and that you have a plan on how to go forward, and that's it. And split up your day properly and give yourself some rest.
I agree.
Yeah,
I think it. Oh, sorry. I think it ties back with just a question from Magma, who was in the chat asking like, how do you guys deal with the anxiety caused by NFTs? And I think it answers that. And I want to ask Shaka as well if you can, deliver some tips and tricks about how you deal with that.
Anxiety. Like just before this chat, I was doing preparing for my drop, and I'm looking at the dates that I'm gonna be home and dates I'm on vacation. Stressing out, freaking out, and then my girlfriend's like, "All right, how about you write everything down?" So she wrote down a calendar, what days I'm gonna be home. Once you write things down, it's insane how fast you lose your anxiety. Like I am not a planner. I'm not an organizer. If you look at my MacBook notes, it looks like a crazy person. But if you just write it down on a piece of paper, you can visually see in front of you. It's not a big deal. It's only 2 days. It's only 3 days. I guarantee you no one's going to forget that you've been gone for 2 days anyway. So just take your time. And second, like the best ideas and the most creativity I've ever had was like me taking a shower or me dozing off somewhere else. It's never been sitting in front of my computer. But yeah, that's the best advice I could say for that.
I agree. And I have to say that I agree with that because I always talk about that, but the gas to your car that is your art is not art itself. It's something else. It's found in something else. You can't addition two things that are the same thing. That doesn't work. That's math, right? Mm-hmm. So you have to find what your gas is. Because if your gas is like singing under the shower, if your gas is going to see your friends, if your gas is, crafting like six people or whatever, do that. Because that's how you will find your relief in daily life, I guess, So find it, write it down, as Chaka says. And perhaps Fesk want to add some things to that.
On my end, my final notes would be to kind of reiterate what Chaka said, like planning and organizing. It's like, I don't know, I'm a kind of planner freak. Let me try to, where is it?
Oh no. I
have like the little notebook with like all my days and my tasks planned,
Where
and
is that?
On top of this, I always use phrase. What? No, my city phrase is not in here. No worries.
Never.
But like on top of that, I use Google Calendar with like trying to block periods of time to do specific tasks and stuff like that. And my whole anxiety comes before I sit down and plan. After I sit down and plan it, it's not that big of a deal, So I would love to double down on what Chaka said.
And also, don't forget to also mark down the positive things that you're going to do on your calendar. I think we already mentioned that, but write them down because you're going to get excited about that as well. You're going to be like, oh, now I have time to do that. And it's a fun part of my day. So mark this down as well. And I guess on that note, we're going to have to up off the chat, but it was amazing. Guys, please, Shaka, Nicole, Fesk, stay in the call when Perfect. We close the chat. And for everyone who has been listening to the chat, thank you so much. We appreciate you so much. Thank you to our guests as well. We love you and appreciate you so much.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Thank you, guys. Bye-bye.